It's the marathon benchmark for a club runner to break 3 hours, and I'd just like to be, part of that club.
The Masters Series.
I'm delighted to say that Alex absolutely smashed his marathon PB by nearly 7 minutes, lowering his personal best to 2 hours 58 minutes and 10 seconds on the 4th of October 2020 as part of the virtual Virgin London Marathon.
Feels absolutely amazing to have broken sub 3. It's been my chief running goal for the past 2.5 years since I first attempted it.
So Alex didn't take on any fluid or energy, gels, nothing like that for the entire race because of a fear of feeling sick as he did last year in the previous marathon, which kind of makes the result even much more impressive.
The weather was absolutely shocking. It was quite very windy, in fact, and a lot of rain.
The weather was After 5 miles or so, we headed back into the headwind. I stopped after 20 miles. I couldn't take any more of it. But Alex, like a man possessed, he just soldiered on. And he just carried on as if there was no wind whatsoever.
I think I was so in the zone, I didn't notice the wind as much as I normally would. It was, it was one of those days where it was mind, body and soul were all on the same page.
But it was evident from Alex that a lot of factors had made this race a success, such as obviously the increase in volume, which he spoke about in part 1.
I've increased my mileage to around 65 miles a week, up from 50.
To make him more resilient to the training. Another aspect which was important as far as Alex was concerned is the nutrition.
It's my first marathon as on a completely plant-based diet, and that's definitely had a positive impact. I feel since I switched to that diet, my recovery from training has improved significantly. Massive help from pacers, which made a huge difference as well. Colleague from my running club ran with me for the first 20 miles, and another 2 runners joined me from mile 12 to the finish. And just having them with me, it certainly helped drive me on.
As soon as I've broken 3 hours, I'll probably be looking at a new target.
I decided to start using a coach after my successful sub 3 marathon. I felt I'd gone as far as I could with self-coaching. I'd seen that Paul's athletes were achieving some great results, and I know some of his athletes, so I thought I'd give it a try.
I like to give people scientific training that applies to all abilities of runners, whether you're a first-time runner, 5k, or you're an advanced marathon runner. The science works for everyone.
Working with Paul it's been really good. A lot of the training I was doing wasn't really adding too much value, and I think I was overtraining. So it's good to know that everything I'm doing now is focusing on the goals that I'm training for. Big difference this time around is that all my training now is at heart rate, and the goal is to increase the pace that I can run at lactate threshold.
So I like to give training on a week-to-week basis, and I like to work out people's training zones based off of a step test that I use to find out your lactate threshold.
Currently that's around 6:15 to 6:20 per mile, and we're aiming to get that down to 6 minutes. So the longer I can hold that pace for, the quicker I can potentially run in a race.
Now, this advanced training is suitable whether you're a 30-minute 5k runner or a sub 20-minute 5k runner. The same applies if you're a 5-hour marathon runner or a 3-hour marathon runner.
Really enjoying the training. I'm not training as hard as I was, but the results are better, and that was proven in my half marathon time trial and my 10k time trial.
It's all about intensity control, and I like to use science to give you the best training possible.
The other thing that Paul has got me doing is really concentrating on pacing. I've always gone out way too quickly and been hanging on at the end of a race or time trial. With the half marathon and the 10k, I set off slower than I've traditionally done, and finished both with negative splits, probably the first 2 races I've ever done that, and it felt good to be stronger at the end of a race rather than trying to hang in now. 2021, got some big goals, want to improve again at all distances. I believe I've got the capability to do that, and with the current training I'm sure I can do that. Weaknesses, concentrating very much on form, trying to get my foot placement correctly, trying to run tall, looking at the horizon rather than having my head down. I try to do lots of drills in my slower, easy runs and recovery runs, focusing on form and breathing.
Alex's mindset. I find him to be very focused, very driven, and basically he puts everything on the line. I think there's a difference sometimes with 2 people who may be on a similar physical level, but the one with the mental edge is the one that sort of propels themselves to achieving their goal. Even more significant is the fact that Alex found something, bought into it, and embraced the formula that works for him and understands why it works for him. I think that's really important. So if you've not done so already, please subscribe to the channel, leave a comment, a suggestion, but most importantly, please be safe. Thank you.